We are living in 21st century where old generation are using walking stick, young generation are using selfie stick. Older generation often claim that they cannot understand young people, while the young generation claim that they are misunderstood by the older people. This accumulation of differences, difficulties and ideas between people born in different time period causes conflict and complicates communication, creating a so-called gap. Generation gaps forms when two age groups begins to see the world from different perspective. What do you understand by generation gap?
I know how to play video games, but my grandparents don't know how to use mobiles.
Different thinking and different attitude.
Different culture.
Today's generation believe in science and old generation were more superstitious.
Different thoughts and behaviors.
Generation gap is a cause of arguments and misunderstandings between different age groups.
Technology is most noticeable difference between youngest and oldest people in society.
Where people of different generation do not understand each other because of their different opinion, behavior and experience.
Before time and less money, we could buy lots of things. The average housewife's time and energy were consumed by cooking. There were no large grocery stores where family could go to buy food, and eating out was a truly rare treat, usually only possible when traveling. No washing machines, but washing was done by hand in a sink, using a washboard to ride items of dirt and a mangle to remove excess water. No proper drainage system were there. Contaminated water, lack of sanitation, deficient light facilities. The women used mortar and pestle for grinding purposes. There were no mobile phones, so they had letter writing system which were transmitted through posts. Older generations are more closed-minded and believe that people must fit into a specific category within society. The new generation, on the other hand, believes that people should have the right to choose how they dress and act, which can be both good and bad. The older generation had to deal with a lot of hardships and had no time for fun or adventures. Conflict, famine, and prejudice are no longer present, and the fruits of their labor have been passed down to the next generation. Today we have improved technology. No need to write letters. Mobile phones are very helpful tools. You can do immediate text, money transfer, calling. It captures memories. No need to make printed albums to recall memories. Washing machines, ACs, TV, utensil washer are more in demand because these have the ability to consume time and energy. Previously, people were easily influenced by emotions, whether for family or friends. Today's youth are capable of balancing their emotions. With the advancement of technology, people's lifestyle are changing. However, the old generation is unable to adopt new technology, slowing the rate of development. The younger generation wishes to expand their horizons. It is always beneficial to have a diverse set of ideas, point of view, and opinions. It shows how we are growing and advancing. But it can be concerning when the views and ideas of both generations are not accepted. Parents form an image of their children in their minds. They want to install in their children the values that they were raised with and expect their children to do the same. Parents want their children to act in accordance with their values because they believe it is in their greatest advantage. Children, on the other hand, have a broader perspective and refuse to accept the earlier lifestyle. They prefer to do things their own way and dislike following rules. Most adolescents experience conflict during their young age. They are desperately looking for a self-identity. Parents do not always understand the demands of today's fast-paced world. Ultimately, despite their love and affection for one another, both are exhausted and unable to comprehend the other. As a result, there is a breakdown in communication and a loss of relationships. Solutions to reduce generation gap. Keep an open mind. The most important thing you can do to be an open-minded parent is to listen to your child without judgment. Communication. Making the time to communicate with your kids every day is very important. Listen. Parents need to allow their kids time to talk without interruption and listen to what they have to say. Understand your child's feeling and emotion. Unconditional love. Love has a way of crossing boundaries and bringing people together. So, show your children how much you love them. This unconditional love and support that they get from you is very encouraging and make children more inclined to show that same love and understanding back. Compromise. People can disagree on things no matter how close to each other. Parents and children are no different. However, rather than forcing them into your way of thinking or forcing them to do what you want them to do when they don't want to, learn to compromise when possible. There are times when you need to put your foot down with your children, but coming to a compromise instead of dictating their every move will make them closer to you and make that generation gap a little bit smaller. Just as everything has its benefits and losses, similarly, the generation gap also has its advantages and disadvantages. If this does not happen, then our world will not grow, although we can reduce the damage caused by it to some extent. In today's scenario, the world is changing quite rapidly. The field of science and technology is also getting more, and at the same time, people live their thoughts and ways of living and needs are changing. As a result, the perception of people of a particular generation do not match those of the second generation. That is, they are different, and this is called the generation gap or generation gap.